What's up guys, Mark and Bethany here with MMO Attack to shed some light on the coming year of 2014 to feature what games should be on your radar.
That's right, just like Christmas items at a department store, we're jumping the gun and showing up way too early. But hey, nothing like a little hype and anticipation for these top 10 games to carry you through the long holiday season.
Now keep in mind these games aren't actually ranked because how do you judge on hype alone? This is simply a list of the most anticipated games for 2014 in no particular order.
Let's go! Convention after convention, the Bethesda and ZeniMax teams continue to show us what many have been clamoring for years, an Elder Scrolls MMO. Players have wanted to take their Skyrim experience into a huge online world, and that's exactly what we are getting. With an awesome action combat system, an emphasis on exploration and narrative, crafting, hunting, fishing, dragon killing, and everything else we loved about Skyrim, The Elder Scrolls Online is almost a surefire bet on anyone's most anticipated games for 2014 list.
Next on the list is Game of Thrones 7 Kingdoms. If you don't recognize the title of this MMO, it's fine. You've probably just been vacationing north of the wall. Whether you watch the show or not, the MMORPG set in George R.R. Martin's fantasy world will serve as a perfect outlet for a wider audience to get introduced to the politics and conflicts that have made the show so addicting. If all goes according to plan, players will be immersed in some impressive visual gameplay. Game of Thrones 7 Kingdoms is a 3D browser-based MMO built using the Unity engine. HBO has collaborated with developers to help bring a successfully arching storyline that takes place after the events of the TV show's first season. You won't see remakes of an already known story, nor do you need to be a Game of Thrones fan to enjoy and progress through this MMORPG.
Monster Hunter isn't exactly a small name when it comes to role-playing games. The games are so popular, in fact, that people worldwide are discussing the new MMO adaptation, despite no official word of US release. But it's hard to imagine the game being region-locked when so many others in the series have been successful in the US. The battle system in Monster Hunter has always been unique, but implementing it smoothly into a massive world will be quite an accomplishment for the developers. The brilliant boss-esque battles in the Monster Hunter series work seamlessly in a genre that utilizes huge location-based battles. Monster Hunter Online is going to be a success. Let's just hope it chooses to do so in America sooner than later.
World of Darkness was conceptually announced back in 2006 and suggested for a 2012 launch. 7 years later, and essentially missing the entire vampire fad, players are still patiently waiting. World of Darkness is a vampire-themed MMORPG that takes place in an urban setting. Graphically impressive cityscapes will provide plenty of cover for immortal creatures of the night. PvE-heavy environments will keep a dark city active, while a massive world gives vampire fans a brilliant new way to stalk their victims. With the promise of permadeath being a feature, players will have to take extra precaution when stalking the streets. With the MMORPG being backed by the team behind EVE Online, you know the title is in some good hands and should be something worth checking out. Until that time though, you'll just have to settle for that Twilight collection you own. Yeah, we know, it's for your girlfriend.
After making a splash with a new trailer at PAX East this year, the repopulation is inching closer and closer to its unofficial release date. The game was once said to launch by the end of July, but that ship has obviously come and gone. Still, things are looking good for this sci-fi ultra sandbox MMO RPG. The game will utilize two modes of combat called Action Mode and RPG Mode, which allows players direct choice over which fighting style will be used for each encounter. Battle mechanics aren't the only innovative attributes in this game. An advanced crafting system will allow players to create over 1,000 different variations of items. But most importantly, there are no levels to grind. Sandbox qualities and customizable missions will keep the game ever-changing.
Next up, we've got Otherland. In case we have any Tad Williams fans out there, yes, this MMO is based on the science fiction series of the same name. In a weird, almost disorienting case of MMO Inception, you are playing as an avatar within this virtual world. At the moment, it's not terribly clear whether or not you have a physical form or if you're actually just a living virtual being. What is clear, however, is that you'll be able to customize your character pretty much any way you see fit, and even create your own virtual world, which you can then populate with creatures whose DNA you've absorbed. Best of all, Otherland will be free to play.
Edengrad is probably a game that is not on many people's lists, mostly because it's a self-funded crafting MMORPG by some creators in Poland. But we're not trying to be a hipster on this list. We just want to list some great MMORPGs. Edengrad is a real-life simulator where you are placed in a post-apocalyptic world. You start the game in a random part of the world without any inventory and must survive. That's the beauty of the game. Your goal is to survive and live off what other players craft and create. Everything in the game is made by players, so you have to make friends or be a good thief.
The world of Destiny is a pretty bleak one. In the distant future, mankind is basically an endangered species. Once, we commanded an empire which stretched across the stars. We were mighty, we were powerful, we were prosperous. But as is the case with human nature, we grew too much, we reached too far and too fast. Destiny is an upcoming action role-playing first-person shooter set in a mythic science fiction overworld. Bungie has emphasized that the universe will be alive and constantly evolving with events that are independent of developer control. With intricate character customization, personal vehicles, and a number of compelling social elements, Bungie's next big project could very well be the game that truly launches the next generation of gaming.
Of all the games on our list, Blessed may well have the most comprehensive, believable, and painstakingly designed world. Unlike many MMOs currently on the market, it places an emphasis on the narrative experience, encouraging players to engage in roleplay and allowing them to shape and meld the story throughout the progression of the game. In short, it's not a gear grind, it's a collaborative story in which PvP combat will play an important role. Factor in a combat system with changes based on how you want to play your class, and you've got a sure winner.
And last but certainly not least, we've got the fantasy sandbox MMO Black Desert Online. Like many other titles on this list, it's slated to be a seamless MMO, meaning no loading screens or zones aside from instances. Unlike the others though, Black Desert Online is actually going to have a rather intense climate and weather system. Each region of the game has its own unique climate that will force players to adapt to it in specific ways. In warm regions, for example, players can farm and fish, while desert regions will be more focused on mining and the like. But it gets better. Players can set up or purchase their own houses, complete with a set of NPC, or perhaps even real player neighbors, who will visit them frequently. From the looks of things, this isn't just a world your character will be doing battle in, it's a world they're going to be living in.
And that's a wrap on our most anticipated MMOs list for 2014.
In no particular order, of course.
Let us know what you think of the games we've discussed.
Trolls are complaint boxes down below, so be sure to drop a little negative attitude so that we can roll our eyes and have a good laugh later on.
Anyone else, make sure to like, subscribe, and as always, check out our website, MMOattack.com, for all the best MMO coverage.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Hello MMO attackers, we interrupt your regularly scheduled program to give you a shout out for helping us reach 10,000 subscribers here on YouTube.
No, we haven't reached it quite yet, but at the rate we're going, it won't be long.
What we want to do to help celebrate this occasion is give a little something back to you.
And hey, if the giveaway helps garner a few new subscribers, well,